Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from the OREI team. In today's video, I'd like to show you how you can easily share a widescreen TV in your living room or a single large monitor in a conference room with multiple HDMI devices at the same time without connecting a single wire. This product provides a wireless connection between those devices and your display so you can instantly start presenting your content. The unit supports up to 100 feet of distance between those devices and the monitor and will broadcast in a full 1080p resolution. The product also provides support for up to 32 transmitters on a single receiver, and the receiver supports both AirPlay and Mirrorcast, so if you have a tablet or a phone, you can directly cast to the device for display on your monitor. This product is great in a conference room setting where you have a single large display and multiple laptops that want to present on that display. You can connect the transmitter up to the laptop and immediately start sending that content. It's also great at home where you may have several products already connected to your widescreen monitor and maybe you're out of HDMI ports, or you're using a portable game console or a laptop that you'd like to share on that screen as well. Again, connect the transmitter and start broadcasting that content. Now, as part of this video, I'd like to start with a basic understanding of how this technology works, and then I'll take a closer look at the transmitters and the receiver and explain the connections so you understand how to use it. I'll do a short demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment, and then I'll come back at the end and point out a few special features that this particular product provides that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. So let's start with a conversation about the technology. There are basically two parts to this wireless system. The transmitters, again, up to 32 of these on a single receiver, and the receiver. The receiver gets connected directly to your monitor. The transmitters plug into your devices with an HDMI connection right here. You also have a button on the top where you can share between the devices. So for example, only one device typically is presenting at a time. You'll tap the button to present. When somebody else needs to use that monitor or you want to switch to a different device, you'll tap it again and tap the button on the other one. So it's a way of toggling between different devices. And the best part is it's 100 feet of distance between the transmitters and the receiver, which means in your home, you can wander around in the building and not have a problem with that connection. It also provides the ultimate in flexibility because if you're connecting through a standard HDMI cable, you've got to have a really long cable. You're worried about people tripping over the cable and the connection getting fatigued. So having a wireless connection just provides a ton more flexibility than a standard wired connection. And the fact that the receiver supports both AirPlay and Mirrorcast means you can directly cast from your phone or your tablet or any other device that supports that technology. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at both units, I'll do the demonstration, and then I'll come back with a few final thoughts. Inside the kit, you'll find a transmitter and a receiver. This receiver supports up to 32 of these transmitters simultaneously. Both of these feature high-impact plastic cases, which make them lightweight and incredibly durable. Let's start with the transmitter first. On the one end, you'll find a heavy-duty cable that has an HDMI connection on the end of it. You can plug this into the HDMI output port from the device you'd like to transmit the media from. On the top of the unit, you'll find a button that can be used to activate and deactivate that transmission, and that allows you to share multiple transmitters on a single receiver. On the other end, you'll find a USB-C port that's used for power. You can simply plug the power supply into a wall outlet, connect the cable from that power supply to this USB-C port to provide all the power you'll need for operation. Alternatively, if you have a device that has an open USB-A port, you can plug that cable into that open port and use that to supply power to the unit, eliminating the need for that wall charger. The receiver features two high-performance antennas which guarantee a rock-solid connection between the transmitters and the receiver. And on the one side of the unit, you'll find a power button that can be used to turn it on and off by simply tapping that button. On the rear of the unit, you'll find a series of connections. Starting on the left is an audio output port. That's a 3.5mm analog port. And this product provides audio extraction capabilities where it can separate the audio from the media it's displaying and then allow you to pass that audio through that port to a home stereo or a soundbar for that full theater experience. To the right of that is a DC input port, and that's used with the power supply. Simply plug that into a wall outlet, connect the other end of the cable in here to provide all the power you'll need for operation. Finally, to the right of that are two output ports for the video. You have a full-sized HDMI port here for newer monitors and a VGA port right there for older monitors. You can use either of these depending on the type of monitor that you have in your solution. Now I'll show you just how easy it'll be to use a system like this with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I have two media devices, a mini PC and a media player that's currently looping a video. And this is the media content that I'd like to share wirelessly over this network for display in this monitor. Over here, I've set up a really nice monitor, and this represents your widescreen TV in your living room or that gigantic display on the wall in your conference room. It's wherever you'd like to enjoy the content from your media devices. In front of me, I have two transmitters and a receiver. Now, the first set of connections I'll make are to the receiver, and I've already connected a high-performance HDMI cable up to the monitor. The other end of that plugs directly into the HDMI output port on the receiver. And now we're ready for power. I've already plugged in the power supply. The other end of the cable has a USB-C connection on it for this product, and I'll plug that into the DC input port in the back. Now, the minute I add power to the receiver, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking the electronics. It's also checking the resolution of the display to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. It's also looking for a beacon from one of the transmitters. So let's start off with the mini PC. Now, the transmitter has two connections, an HDMI connection for your video and a DC power input connection. And you can use the power supply that comes with the kit, plug that into the wall, add the cable and plug it in here. Or if you have a unit like this mini PC or this media player that has an open USB-A port on it, you can plug the cable directly into the device, and that'll provide all the power you'll need for operation. So I've already plugged the power cable into an open USB-A port on the mini PC. I'll plug the other end of that into the DC input port on the front of the unit, and then I can connect the HDMI connection into the HDMI output port. And the minute I do that, the transmitter also starts a power on self-test where it's checking the electronics, it's checking the resolution of the device I plugged it into, and it's sending a beacon to the receiver, and there you go. So what you're viewing here is content from the mini PC being sent over that wireless network to the receiver and converted back into an HDMI signal for display on the monitor. Now, I can add up to 31 more transmitters, so let's add a transmitter right now to this media player right here. I've already plugged the cable into an open USB-A port just like on the mini PC. I'll plug that into the front of the unit, and then I can plug the HDMI connection into the open HDMI port in the back. Now, the display is going to have one of these two being displayed at any given time. If you want to switch between them, you simply tap the button on the top of the transmitter, and that'll deactivate this one, and then tap the button on the top of the transmitter for the one you want to display. I'll tap that one, and you'll see it switch between them. So now I'm looking at content from the media player and not from the mini PC. And again, it's pretty incredible that that content can be transmitted wirelessly up to 100 feet away to the receiver for display on that monitor. And if I want to switch back, I just tap this button to deactivate that one and tap this button to activate that one, and we'll switch back to the PC. And it really is just that simple to get it working. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now, here are a few really important things to keep in mind if you're searching for a wireless HDMI extension kit like this one. The first thing has to do with the transmission distance that any product supports. This unit provides 100 feet of distance between the transmitters and the receiver, and the reason that's important is because even though you may not need that long a distance, knowing you have that strong a signal means that when you're in close with your media device to the monitor, you'll never have to worry about synchronization issues between the content and what's being displayed on that monitor. And that's really important if you're doing presentations. Another big difference is the resolution the product supports. This unit fully supports 1080p content, which means you'll have a crystal clear image on that display. Other products on the market may support a lower resolution at a lower frame rate, so it's always important to check that. Two other important differences are the fact that this product is HDMI 1.3 and HDCP 1.3 certified. And the reason those certifications are important is because the HDMI standard has gone through a lot of changes in recent years. There have been a lot of new features introduced, so knowing you're on the latest version of HDMI for 1080p content means you can immediately take advantage of all those features. And the HDCP certification is equally important because that controls copy protection. So knowing you're on the latest version of HDCP for 1080p content means you can play a wider range of files. Two other important advantages include the fact that the receiver will support 32 transmitters at the same time. Other kits on the market may only support 4 transmitters or 8 transmitters, so knowing this unit supports a full 32 transmitters means you can expand the system as needed later on. It also provides support for both AirPlay and Mirrorcast, which enables you to use a phone or a tablet or other device that has that technology built in to cast directly to the receiver without the need for a transmitter. The product is incredibly simple to use, and with a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks for watching.